No, I haven't seen anything like that.
Hi, good evening. Welcome to another live program. It's Revelation TV, and it is in particular World in Focus. It is the 17th of January, so just get your pen and papers ready, or put your video place, I think.
Now the scary thing is this burning sulphur is mentioned in Revelations.
Okay.
The same sulphur that
Revelation what?
Revelation 21 verse 7.
Okay.
It's mentioned there. The same sulphur that came down on these evil cities, we're told that they will come down again in the future.
Revelation 21?
Revelation 21 verse 7.
7. He who overcomes will inherit these things.
That's it. If you
Okay.
carry on through there and you'll see.
But the cowardly and the unbelieving and the abominable and the murderers and the immoral persons and sorcerers and idolaters and all liars, their part will be in the lake that burns with fire and brimstone. And this is the second death.
That's correct.
So here we're looking at the lighting of one of these sulphur balls, which was found way back. Well, it was originally landed somewhat 3,500, 4,000 years ago. Was that the timing?
About 3,900 years ago.
Oh, 3,900 to be
Yes,
precise.
that's
to the day.
That's correct.
And here you can see. Now you couldn't do this with a stone, could you? You couldn't make it burn. So this is quite unique. Bob, how unique is this? We're hearing it obviously from Simon and Emma, but
well, the smell is pretty unique. I must
is it?
admit.
That's not me.
but unique in that you only find these balls apparently in these 5 areas where the 5 cities would have existed. Normal
God, it's a strong smell.
It
It
really
smells
is
like
powerful.
it is when you're in the Dead Sea.
Yeah,
You've got that smell, haven't you?
Yeah.
Wow.
And these balls are only found in this area down by the Dead Sea. Usually sulphur is found in crystal form, but nowhere can you find it like this. So that makes it very unique. Oh, it is pretty
Very
powerful.
strong.
Very strong, isn't it?
This is an
This is the
example.
first time we've ever had anything like this on Revelation TV.
Now you lit one in your hotel.
Realdiscoveries.com. Real people, real places. Realdiscoveries.com. And now the Real Discoveries series continues with their most ambitious adventure yet. Our search for the tomb of Jesus. Journey on with the Real Discoveries team as they search for the true location of the tomb of Jesus Christ and the real site of his crucifixion.
Our search for the tomb of Jesus.
For centuries, some of the world's greatest explorers have sought the tomb of Jesus, only to stumble across as many questions as answers. Now a handful of believers seek the answers to those questions and the truth about possibly the most important archaeological puzzle in human history. Simon and his team set off in search of the final resting place of Jesus Christ.
Our search for the tomb of Jesus.
On their travels, the Real Discoveries team meets scholars and historians, scientists and archaeologists as they gradually piece together the mystery of the tomb of Jesus. Matching their real-world findings to details straight from the pages of the Bible, their new film, Our Search for the Tomb of Jesus, weaves an incredible tale that spans millennia. From Constantine the Great to the Knights Templar, to modern-day Jerusalem and the many secrets she still harbors. It's brand new evidence never before seen on screen about the legendary tomb of Jesus Christ, including the Church of the Holy Sepulchre and the famous Garden Tomb. Official Shroud of Turin photographer and renowned authority on the burial of Jesus, Barry Schwartz, was so fascinated by the discoveries made by Simon and his team that he has indicated a desire to reopen his own investigations based on their findings. You're always skeptical, says Simon, But he's seen these things with his own eyes, and he was amazed. He has a passionate desire to share their discoveries with people who may not fully realize the importance of the Bible and its message.
Christians believe that Jesus was crucified at a place called Golgotha, outside the walls of Jerusalem on Good Friday.
They came to a place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. Joseph took the body, wrapped it in a clean linen cloth, and placed it in his own new tomb that he had cut out of the rock. He rolled a big stone in front of the entrance to the tomb and went away. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary were sitting there opposite the tomb.
The group decided it was time to investigate the garden tomb. There is no church, just a quiet and peaceful gardens. What evidence do we have that this is the tomb of Jesus? First of all, although there is evidence that early Christians believed this was the true site, it lay pretty well undiscovered until the middle of the 19th century. Until 1867, the site was a wasteland, and nothing was discovered until the Greek family owning the land decided to dig for water. They found a cave which they decided to excavate further to install a water cistern. The excavation took almost half a century, but in the end, the site was very much as we see it today. From time immemorial, it had been called Skull Hill, and Golgotha is Aramaic for the place of the skull. If we look at the site from here, we can clearly see the shape of the eye sockets and the nose. Gordon was sure that this was the correct site because St. John tells us that at the place where Jesus was crucified, there was a garden, and in the garden a new tomb in which no one had ever been buried. According to the Gospels, the tomb belonged to Joseph of Arimathea, a wealthy merchant who had the tomb made for himself and his family. As you can see, the door into the tomb is quite small, but the tomb itself roomy, about 14.5 feet by 10 and 7.5 feet high, which is quite high considering that few men stood more than 6 feet tall. The entrance would be made intentionally small to deter grave robbers. To the front, we see the weeping chamber. The mourners would be women. And on the right, here, a low wall hewn from the rock divides the room. Below, a pillow has been cut out of the rock, and beyond, an unfinished tomb, perhaps intended for Joseph of Arimathea's wife.
Covering the tomb that you can see in front of you, except that this right-hand side had collapsed, we think, due to earthquake damage, and at that time they strengthened it with these stone blocks. Now, when you go into the tomb, don't think it's